Welcome back, YouTube. It's been a while since I made a video, so let's get to it. Today I'm discussing crossbow versus compound bow, and maybe which one you should go out, get yourself right now. I'm shooting this in May. You should probably get both these, especially if you're a guy that's coming in this from never shooting a bow or a crossbow before, and you're starting from scratch. Or maybe you're a guy that's looking to upgrade. Should I upgrade my compound bow if you have one and switch to a crossbow? Should you switch from a crossbow to a compound bow? Well, we'll go over that right now. So first off, let's go over some categories. First one I'm going to go through is legality, because that's number one. Long and short of that, compound bow wins. Compound bow is legal in more places than a crossbow. There's a lot of states where this is not considered a bow. Now, you might say, well, it's not a bow. I would argue if you picked up a trad bow or a stick bow or a long bow, whichever one you want to call it, and compared them, you would say that a compound bow is cheating, and you would see very little difference between a compound bow and the crossbow. Now, but in that category, crossbow wins, or crossbow loses. Simple fact is, in the United States, there's more places that legalize hunting with a compound bow, and crossbows are actually lumped into your hunting with a rifle, unless you have some type of, and there's some states with exemptions, but in general, crossbow loses. Now, if you're in a particular state like mine, where they don't discriminate on it, then I would say it's a wash. Now, and this is only for the United States. Now, let's go to the next category, long-range accuracy. And this is, again, a wash. There's lots of videos of guys with high-end crossbows and high-end compound bows, and they're shooting out a long ways. And for the good archer, it's no different. Now, where there is a difference is maybe you, or how much you get to practice. So there's going to be a caveat in this one. And if you don't get to practice very much, like most of us don't, the crossbow wins. Okay? And so what do I mean by that? Well, if you're a guy that gets maybe once a week, or maybe less, doesn't get out and shoot very much, crossbow wins this category. Because you can maintain the skills much longer, because there's just less of you inputting your funk on the bow. Trust me, pick up a stick bow. Everything you do affects the arrow. So crossbow wins that one. As far as I call it, the layman, again, if you go out and practice, both of them are mitigated. I don't think there's a win. Now let's go to what I would call ethics. Well, that's you. Because some people are going to say ethically, it's so much harder to hunt with a compound bow. I've hunted with a stick bow. Your compound bow guys, you're not that much harder than a crossbow. I don't believe that. I've hunted with all of them. Now, we're going to get out of that category, because that could be a rabbit hole. I'm going to simply say you got to make that decision. Do you feel like it's ethical to hunt with that? Do you feel like a modern compound bow is ethical? And if you don't feel like either one of those are, pick up a stick bow. So, and on the backside of that, people who are not proficient in practicing with their compound bows, would you be better off hunting with a crossbow? Something like, again, this nice. I'll keep pulling that one up as a reference point. If you hunt with that, if you're the guy who goes out and shoots a handful of times, I would actually argue the crossbow is better. A crossbow you can pick up, and you're going to have a much better accuracy. And I think it's a much more ethical choice than the guys who take their compound bow out and they shoot it once before season, they go hunt. They don't arrow tune, they don't do anything. Next category. So I'm going to say for accuracy, slight edge, crossbow, but with only a slight edge. Next is going to be ease of use. Crossbow wins this. Once you learn a crossbow, how to use a crossbow, it's the winner. Compound bows, you got to tinker with. They even great archery channels talk about that. So then we come to the last one of what I care about, and that's price. And I'll give you some ideas here. Your compound bow, you can get a bare compound bow that you can hunt with, ready to hunt package for about $400. And it comes with everything you need. You can get a crossbow like this from Walmart for, again, I think I've seen one now the other day, about $300. So crossbow comes in a little cheaper. But this is where I'm going to have to come in and say crossbow wins. And it's not just the price. You can buy a compound bow, but you got to tinker with it. To really get the accuracy, to really get the lethality out of it, it's a tinkering game. Crossbow's not. Crossbow's kind of a plug and go game. And so you might have that ready to hunt bow with broadheads and everything for about $500. But you're going to have to tinker with it. It's not going to be set up perfect. Will it kill a deer? Yes. But the lethality with it is definitely not going to be that of a crossbow. And you're not going to get the accuracy that you got out of a crossbow. So after you take in all those categories, the prices, the easy use, without legality. Legality is the only thing that can win this. Again, don't use something that's not legal in your area. The crossbow is a superior weapon. The crossbow is a superior weapon for your average Joe. Okay, and I'm putting the emphasis on average Joe. If you're not an average Joe, then this does not apply to you. If you're a guy who can shoot every day, this does not apply to you. But for your average Joe, the average hunter, the crossbow is a much better platform. And that is why you've been seeing me pull this up and not my compound bow, because I no longer have a compound bow. I got rid of it because the crossbow beat it in so many different directions. It just, outside of the emotional attachment to a bow, there was no reason to keep it. I hope you found this information interesting or useful. If you want to hear more of it, hit that subscribe button. If you like the video, hit that like button. It helps. And always get out, enjoy the outdoors, and remember to always, even in a crossbow, practice. That's right, I said practice. And that's what we're going with.